Hey guys, Bram Spira here. You're watching another episode of Buy and Hold Fundamentals, and we're still looking at Greenville, South Carolina. So let's get cracking. Another 20 properties. More to learn. Back to our usual routine. Grab the price. I'm seeing a lot of warnings on Zillow in this town about suspicious listings. I wonder if that's connected to either these listings that have nothing on it or these FISBOs. Just a thought. All right, let's see if we get some info on rent. There we go. And we're on to our analysis tab. We're going to change that because I've been playing around with this. And we're going to change all of these back. Let's do some work on a question someone had on their analysis. Playing around with my sheet. Okay, let's see what we got here. No, that's still... Hold on, let's see what the taxes are like. 2,200. Okay, we're making a buck. That's not a good deal. Interesting. Next. We did that guy. Let's do this guy. Go away. Grab the address. Go back. This is actually not for sale, but again, it's good for our stats. Let's see where it takes us. All we're really trying to do is draw conclusions about the market. Let's see what we can get on taxes. Because if you ask me, this is the minimum you gotta do before looking into a market, is just get to know what you can grab. 169, 13%. 169, 13%. Start getting a feeling, of what the market's like, what the rent ratios are like. These are all pieces of land. There we go. So that you start to develop a feel for what's a deal and what's not in your target market. And whether you're looking in a small town like this, where you're going to look at 600, 700, 800 properties, or whether you're in a big city and you're picking a neighborhood or two where you've got a couple hundred properties, doing that and investing the time, that's going to put you an advantage to the majority of other investors, because they're just not going to bother to go through all the legwork. So that's your unfair advantage. Let's just call that 500 because that seems really low. 89 bucks, 5%. And we're off to the next. So that's probably land. Okay, next. Staying to the left of this white horse road that's just to keep track of what I've looked at. And this is another one of those iffy places. Doesn't seem real, but again, we're getting market info, which is all we're after. And we're going to home values. Let's see what that does. Taxes, 1,000. Okay, 164, 6%. 64 and 6%. Next one. Asking price. Rent $950. And that's where it becomes interesting. So here you have a house that's asking for considerably less. It might be in an auction, which is part of what the explanation is. But the initial rent estimate's a lot higher. Or you have a $70,000 house where the rent ratio is much higher than this one. Now, the reason for that might be that this is D because it's a rundown mobile home, as opposed to this being, I don't know, C plus, B minus, and therefore more stable. And that's what's being taken into account. But try and notice all those differences and see if you can make them make sense. And when they don't, then there's probably something interesting going on. And that's really what you're looking for, is anomalies that you can use to your advantage. Here we're losing money. And I don't remember the cash, minus 5%. Okay, and we're on to the next one. You can do it, come on. Okay, we're back. Is that the same place? Nope. Just across the street, I guess. They're asking the same. The rent's lower. And let's see what they... Perfect for investors. Why? It's making $750 a month. And they're asking $25,000 over at least the Zestimate, which, although it isn't great, is some kind of indicator. So it's probably over market price, and I guess they're looking for a sucker. Rents estimate. That's interesting. So they're actually they're below rent. We're going to take their numbers. They're below market rents, or that 950 is above market rents. And what's taxes like? 1370. All right, so we're back here, changing that into 750. That stays the same, and this was 1370, which is essentially the same. So you're using $316. Minus 316, negative 8%. And this is being marketed as an investor property. That's fascinating to me. That has a lot to do with the fact that real estate agents, many real estate agents don't understand the first thing about cash flow. And all they're doing is saying, look at that 750 you're getting in, look at the mortgage payments, the rest is just money. They're forgetting tax, they're forgetting insurance, they're forgetting vacancy, all the rest of these costs, and pretending they don't exist. And if you, as an investor, don't know what they are, then you're going to believe them that 750 is actually good money. Next. There we go. How about rent? The value rents at 11.25. And again, we're seeing a lot of variance around rents, which is interesting because it might mean that there's opportunities here to improve the performance of the property. Here. You have two opposite trends and suddenly it goes into the green, right? So you have rent that are higher, although the rent ratio here isn't earth-shattering. And you've got taxes that are lower. Purchase price, but that's because it's an auction, are lower, but that's probably going to... What happens when this is... when that gets more to market price, you're starting to lose money already. So it's only if you manage to get it at that initial price or lower that it actually starts cash flowing. 104, 4%. Okay. Let's see what else we got. And we'll grab home value 295 off to analysis. 95. What we got? Taxes 1310. $79, 2%. And hold on. Go. $1,200. And we're off to here. And we're going to stick that in there. And now 922. 254, 12%. 254, 12%. Let's see what happens if we stick the market value in there. Still making money. So that's another indicator to something being interesting. So you're seeing these houses, they're up for auction where the initial price makes them seem like they cash flow. If you can get some kind of indicator as to what the market price is likely to be and stick that in there and validate that you're still cash flowing, then you have something that's more interesting to look at. What do we got here? Okay. Can we just look at this? Yeah. Okay. There we go. Come on, you can do it. No, not over there. Over here. Okay. And the auction prices seem to be going. I mean, when you start seeing these kind of patterns, that also becomes interesting. So, no, not interested in that. Over here. So you're seeing a whole bunch of places up for auction. You're starting to see the same kind of initial numbers coming up. But then, why is this one being estimated at $10.50 for rent and this one at $1,200 for rent, right? Do we have another 80 something out here? No. That's interesting. Which one represents the market? Is it the 1050? Is it the 1200? That's what I'd like to know. 490. And then their taxes are wildly different. So we've seen that before in the other episode, where taxes are all over the place. The question is the market really that, like the tax market, is it that volatile? Or is there something else going on? Have these places not been sold in a long time and the tax assessment only happens at sale? These are all, regardless of which market you're going into, you start noticing these things, you write them down, and then when you have a conversation with a real estate agent or another investor, or if there is a small community bank who does loans in this market and you're talking to, ask them about these things. One, they're going to give you good information. Secondly, it'll help you to demonstrate to them that you're actually starting to build knowledge about their market, which will help them take you seriously. And you're going to hear, they've seen all of this stuff backwards and forwards, right? So they're going to be able to give you insight that you see that, here we go. Almost non-existent taxes. It's nuts. 250, what was it? 259. It makes such a difference in the cash flow. Here, look, I mean, let's turn this into 1300, which we've seen. Okay, or 2200. Okay, as opposed to 259. $300. 299. 20, how much? 21%. On 52,000. You put down 17,000 and you're getting $300 a month. Might be a rat hole though. Who knows? Back to our analysis. over here. Another auction in the 80,000 range. What are we getting on this one? Just a sec. And there we go. Okay, 1050 on the rent, which is sort of consistent with this one, right? So let's see where that takes us. $947. $174, 9%. And off to the next one. There we go. Grab the rent, $12.95. Stick that in there. Right, taxes. $12.27. 97 bucks, 3%. What's the rent? $12.50. Taxes $22.09. Losing 50 bucks. And that's just a result of the taxes and the slightly lower rent, because that difference in rent actually would have made you break even. Okay, next. No, we wanted this one. You can do it. $12.25. There we go. Look for the taxes. 800. $202, 8%. And it's back. There we go. They're asking for 92. Not what I was asking for. There we go. What else we got? 1275. Taxes. 784. 784. 1275. That's what they're asking, and that gives us 266 and 11%. Let's see what this gets us. $895. Taxes $645. 95. 220, 16%. Okay. Piece of land. Start with this guy. That's a piece of land too. There we go. $1,100. $1,100, and what do we got? Taxes. 596. 6. 233 and 11%. 233, 11%. Grab that. Not over here. Over here. Let's see what we got on the rent. Blah, blah, 950. $694 rather. 694. 50. $199, 12%. What's a piece of land? Not interesting. Anything here? That's not interesting because it doesn't tell us anything. Nope. I don't want to tackle that. I'll say, start the top again. Lot. These are all lots. That's a little outlier. Let's do that one. What do we got? What have we got? 950. Um, 927. That stays 950. Let's see what that does. 109, 5%. All right. That's another 20 houses we've looked at. I think we're still seeing interesting fluctuations in taxes. We're still seeing interesting fluctuations in rent rates. So these are things that more data is going to help us suss out. But there's certainly enough things here that could potentially make money for me to continue looking at. But I would go through the trouble of looking at everything in the market in that meets sort of the initial criteria that I put together, meaning under 150,000 grand, and see what more statistics gives us. Because at the moment we looked at 40. I think if we get a couple hundred houses under our belt, it'll allow us to draw real conclusions and start looking for those diamonds in the rough. So thank you for watching. I'm Bram Spiro. You've been watching Buy and Hold Fundamentals. We'll be back tomorrow with another 20 houses. See you then.